Do you ever wonder why on earth you cannot beat 2NL Zoom on PokerStars or on any other site? Well, let me tell you, you're not alone. A lot of players struggle with that, and I struggle with it as well. I'm doing a bankroll challenge at 2NL, and it's not going very well. And today I'm going to tell you why this is the case. Not why I struggle with it, but why we all struggle to make any money at 2NL. So the first reason is the player pool is quite nitty. Now, what does that mean? Yes, there are a lot of weak players in there who limp and who make all sorts of crazy mistakes. However, the majority of the player pool is made up of players who are actually not terrible at poker. Yes, they're not crushers by any means, but they know the basics, they know the fundamentals, they don't make huge mistakes, and they're always on the nittier side. And it's very hard to make money against these players. Yes, you can bluff a little more, you can bluff more when they're in the blinds or post-flop, but that won't make you a lot of money. It's much better to play against splashier players. But the problem is that there are not many, especially when you play the Zoom game. So that's one of the reasons. But the second one, and this one's far bigger, and here's a hand example, and I'll tell you exactly why you can't really make money at 2NL or even 5NL. So imagine you have pocket aces in the big blind. The small blind opens, you 3-bet, the small blind 4-bet, you jam, small blind calls, he has pocket kings, your aces hold, and you win a pot. You put 100 big blinds in, small blind put 100 big blinds in. So you should win 200 big blinds. But that's not the case because you only win 190 big blinds. So you just pay 10 big blinds in rake. Now, imagine, now we're changing the hand up a little bit. So let's say next orbit, you have pocket kings, same scenario, you have pocket kings in the big blind, the small blind raises, you 3-bet, he 4-bet, you jam, he calls, and he has pocket aces. This time, his aces hold, he will win the pot, and he will win the 200 big blinds minus the 10 big blinds rake, so he's got 190 big blinds. So neither of you did anything wrong. This is exactly how you should both have played both hands, but you're both down 10 big blinds. Now, this won't happen all the time, quite like this, but this is kind of what's happening with pretty much every hand there. And now, if you combine the nitty player pool with this insane rake, there is just no way to make money. And the higher you move up in stakes, the less big blinds you will pay in rake. But here they do say they have a cap, but it's essentially uncapped. If you play 100 big blinds deep poker, it is 5% uncapped rake. If in live poker any casino offered me such a rake structure, I would say that game is not beatable, and that's against much weaker opponents that play live poker. So guys, just accept that you cannot really beat 2NL. Yes, maybe the biggest crushers can beat the game long term, but even that, I'm not entirely sure if it is possible with this rake structure. So what should you do instead? Well, you have two options. One is you just use 2NL and 5NL and even 10NL as a bit of practice to become better, to study, and then move up to 25NL, 50NL, 100NL, because that's where you'll start making some sort of money. If that's not you, then this is what I think is the much better option. Just play live poker. Go try and find a casino where they don't have such a rake structure, where it's a 1-2 or 1-3 game, where they charge 5% capped at 10, or like it is the case in the US, 10% capped at 5 plus maybe $1 or $2 for promotion. But that will be where you can make money. So forget about the small stakes in online poker unless you want to use them for practice and play live poker.